Good morning. Let's talk about pain. Ultimately, let's talk about pain within the body of Christ. But I want to start with our physical pain. As some of you know, I have some back and neck issues. And about a year ago, I finally had to admit to myself that I live with pretty much chronic pain. I go to a chiropractor when I can afford to, and I now occasionally pop an Aleve to take the edge off of that pain. But something that I noticed about 2 weeks ago is that I generally only focus or allow myself to be conscious of one pain at a time. So if my back and neck pain is the primary pain, then I might become aware of it throughout the day. And when I do, then I need to respond to it. But about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, Carmel and I were working at the retreat suite, and the electric screwdriver slipped, and I had just taken off my gloves. I should not have taken off my gloves, but I had just done that, and I nailed my thumb with that electric screwdriver. And thankfully, I hit nail and not skin, but it hurt. And that evening, laying in bed, I wasn't aware at all of my neck and back pain because my thumb was throbbing. Well, I started thinking about that in terms of the Black Lives Matter movement and about racial injustice. Because I've had a number of people say to me, Tom, why do they say Black Lives Matter when all lives matter? Or more recently, someone painted Babies' Lives Matter in front of a Planned Parenthood, just like they've been, painting Black Lives Matter on different streets in different cities. It kind of brought this person, or actually multiple people have said this to me, it's kind of brought them to this sense of, well, why do we only focus on one group or one issue when there are all of these other issues? And it's because I really feel like as the body of Christ, we can generally only focus on the most immediate pain, just like in our physical bodies, that's generally all we can do. Even when we take a loved one to the emergency room, often if there's multiple symptoms, the doctor will even say, well, what's the most troubling symptom? They have to have a place to start. They have to have a focus, and what's the thing that's most relevant now? That's what's going on when people say Black Lives Matter. What they're saying is, right now, what's relevant isn't the discussion on abortion. It isn't the discussion on poverty. It isn't the discussion on child sex trafficking. Right now, the relevant pain is racial injustice. And that doesn't negate all of these other pains, as one of my Patreon members mentioned yesterday. I really loved the way she wrote her post about this. It doesn't negate all of those other pains, all of those other troubles, all of those other societal deficiencies and challenges, but it simply says that racial injustice is what is most relevant right now. And the best way you and I can respond is to simply say, yes, Black Lives Matter, and enter into that conversation. By trying to change the subject to anything else, like all lives matter, or babies' lives matter, or we need to look at child sex trafficking, by changing the topic in any way, we ignore that pain. Like me laying in bed that night, if I had felt the pain in my thumb and simply said, oh, but my neck and back I know are hurting right now too, so I need to ignore this pain to address something else, well, that's just a real diminishment of what's happening in my thumb. Well, that's how it is with the body of Christ. So I just invite you and I to accept that challenge. What's the relevant pain right now in the body of Christ, in our country and throughout the world? And can we lean into that? Can we be part of the conversation? Can we be part of the healing in the way that God invites us to be? I hope you have an awesome day.